run Linux command, all you just need to do is to launch terminal. Terminal is equivalent to command prompt in Microsoft Windows operating system. There's a whole lot of similarities between Linux and Microsoft operating system, only that in Linux, perhaps you probably need to run a lot of commands in order to perform some tasks, while in Windows, there are icons you probably just need to click in order to get the same task done. So I'm starting with checking the present working directory. So if you want to check the present working directory, what you just need to do is the command is pwd. The command is pwd. This is the command for checking present working directory. Yeah, so my present working directory is /home/hd user. It's just simple and straightforward. So present working directory is like where are you? It's as simple as where are you working from? Which environment or which directory are you currently working from? So pwd checks the present working directory. I want to clear my screen and type the command again. Pwd checks the present working directory, and my present working directory is /home/hd user. So if I want to change the present working directory, so to change the present working directory, the command is cd change directory. That is a command for changing the present working directory. It's cd. So cd. So I want to change this to desktop. Is /cd /home/hd user/desktop. So desktop. Yeah. So this will change my directory to the desktop. If I want to toggle back to the previous directory where I was, my current present working directory is the desktop. C /home/hd user/desktop. If I want to toggle back to the previous working directory where I was before I navigated to this location, is cd/ or cd-. That takes me to the previous working directory. So this takes me back to the previous working directory. If I want to go back to the previous working directory that I was, cd-. So you can use cd- to toggle between the past working directory and the present working directory. It is just as simple. It's just as simple as that. Yeah. So that's simply how to do that. Then there's another directory that is like the root directory. If you want to change to the root directory, // is the root directory. So this takes you to the root directory. Where is that again? Yeah. So this takes you to the root directory. And if I want to go back to the directory where I was before, so if I do present working directory, is the root directory. You can see it in here. If I want to go back to the directory I was before I came to the root dash, it takes me back to the desktop. If I want to go back to the parent directory for desktop. So the way it is that HD user is the parent directory for desktop, /home is the parent directory for HD user. So if I want to go to the parent directory for desktop, I just do cd ... You know, those are relative referencing. They call this relative referencing. cd ... takes me back to, so if we check present working directory, it takes me back to /home/hd user. So these are absolute referencing. There's absolute referencing and relative referencing. These are relative references. .. is relative reference, dash is relative reference, dot keeps me still in the same directory where I am. So it keeps me in the same directory, pwd. Yeah, so simply that is how it is to change the working directories. Next, I'm on page 10 of our workbook. So next, if you want to search for a file, so I want to search for a file. We created a file, the airline file. Yes, we created airline file. So say I want to say I want to check. Say I want to search for like any file that has airline in it. I want to search for a file that has airline in it within my directories or within a particular location. So how to do that is I will just say find in this current directory. I want to search for any file that the name starts with. Any file that the name starts with, say air. So air, anything that starts with air star. So star is this is it's a okay. I'll clear my screen. I'll clear my screen and I'll take that again. Mary, are you with me? Mary, can you hear me? Okay, so perhaps your microphone is muted. Um, so I'm proceeding, and I hope you can hear me. Yeah, my microphone is on, and the screen is shared. So let me see if there are any comments. Yeah, so I'll join with another device and see what the experience is like over there. So I'm joining with another device. Yeah, microphone off. Yeah, transfer. Yes. So yeah. Okay. So I'm proceeding with the class, and I hope you can hear me. If you can hear me, please mute your microphone and indicate that you can hear me. Great. Okay, so thank you for that, Mary. Um, so moving on with the class, we want to search for a file. So to search for a file in a particular directory, so maybe on the desktop, yeah, maybe I want to search for a file on the desktop. The command to search is file. So I want to search for a file on the desktop /home/AD/user/desktop. So what am I searching for? I'm searching for a file whose name starts with, say, air, then star, anything that starts with air. That is what I'm searching for from the desktop. When you click enter, so you can find from the desktop, you can find airport on the desktop. You can also find airline.txt in the airport folder from the desktop. That is essentially how that is simply how that works. Then just in case you want to search for um, you want to print the content of a file. Yes. Now that is a command to search for a file or a folder on the desktop. Say you want to print the content of a file. In order to print the content of a file, the command is cat. Say I want to print the content of slash home/hd user, then desktop, then airline, yeah. Then yeah, I want to send the contents of or I want to read the content of airline.txt in airport folder on the desktop. So this is the command. So this reads the content of airline.txt from my desktop. It's quite it's very simple. All of these I'm just replicating what you already have from your material, from the page 10 to page 11 of the big data analytics lab work. Then it's also important when you create a file, you may also want to change the permission and the access rights or for users that can access that particular file. So let's look at, let's go to airline folder. Let's go to this folder and check the contents of this folder. CD, and then I paste and enter. So if I clear this, my present working directory, what's my present working directory is the airports folder. That's my present working directory. So in this directory, I want to so in this directory, I want to simply, let me quickly admit a few people into the class. Okay, so from this directory, I want to change the access rights, or I want to check the access right of users in this particular directory. So if you do list -L, we've done this before. Yeah, Titi is just joining the class. We've done some of this stuff before. It's just a revision of those things that we've done before. So to check the access right for the kind of permission that is granted to this file, airline.txt, if you want to check the permission. So here you have read, write, then X. So there are three kinds of permissions that can be granted to a file, or whether it's Hadoop file or just a local file on your local machine. There are three kinds of permission that can be granted. Number one is a read access. Number two is a write access, and number three is it's execute access. That's on one hand. Then on the other hand is that there are three categories of users that access can be granted to. Number one category of user that you can grant access to is the owner of the file, the creator of the file itself is number one user you can grant access to. The other user you can grant the access to. The other category of user you can grant access to is other users in the same group. You know, it's other users in the same group with the creator of the file. And the third is other users that are not in the same category with the owner of the file. So remember again, there are three categories of access that can be granted, and those three categories of accesses can be granted to three categories of users. So it's simply a function of it's like there's a little bit of statistics around that. It's combination and permutation for those that already know how that works in statistics. I think at some point we are going to get into talking statistics for this particular class. So for this particular file, airline.txt, for airline.txt, the first three characters, RW, then dash, means that the owner of this file can read this file, can write this file, but cannot execute the file. And the next R dash dash means that the users that are in the same group with the owner of this file can read the file, but that's all they can do. They cannot write to the file and they cannot execute the file. And the third category are other users that don't belong to the same group with the owner of this file. They can read the file, but they cannot write to the file, they cannot execute the file. So when you cannot write to the file, it means that you can only view the file. You cannot modify the content of that file. So when you go to some website, their website, you can only view the content of that website, but you cannot modify the content of the website. So those are some of the privileges that drive content creation on the website. So three levels of accesses for three levels of 3 levels of user. So how can we change this particular access? So the command to change this access right. So assuming we want to grant execute function to want to grant read, write, and execute function to the owner of this file. So it's now going to be RWS. If you want to grant that level of access, okay, just a minute. Hello, Titi. Hi, Titi. Good afternoon. Yes, I am. Oh, did you join at any point at all? Okay, I thought I admitted you. Okay. Okay, so let's admit Titi into the class. Okay. I hope she's able to join the class. Sorry about that. And yes, it's admitting Titi into the class. She's been waiting in the lobby for quite some time. So let's see if she's going to join us in the next 1 minute. Let me see. Admit all. Wait, admit all. Titi Espana is waiting admit. So is Titi in the class now? Yes, Titi is in the class now. Yippee! Okay,
yes,
great.
Thank you.
Welcome to the class. Okay, great. Okay, so we are proceeding with the like a revision of some of those things that we've done in the past. I do hope you can see my screen. If you cannot see my screen, please let me know that you cannot see the screen. Okay, um, so we were talking about changing the access rights and how do we change the access right for the user for this class. The command is change mode. This is always going to come handy. At times, there are challenges that you face when you're working with when you're working in.
I can't see your screen. I can't see the screen. Black.
Okay.
If I don't see for this office, your mom said you never complete.
Okay, so the screen is coming up. I'm sharing it. I disconnected and connected again. Hopefully, you'll be able to see it this time around. Yeah. So this, yeah. So can you see the screen now?
Not yet. I can't.
Okay, so we'll just wait a few seconds and let's see. Please mute your microphone.
Okay, sorry.
Okay, so the screen is not showing. I'll just quickly find another way. Okay, I'll disconnect and reconnect back again. So I'm attempting to share my screen. I'm actually sharing my screen, but it's not displaying. Maybe I should just I'll just try and restart my. This is strange. This is totally strange. Okay, so the screen is not being shared. Okay, so I'll just disconnect and then reconnect again and see how that. So I'm restarting my PC just to see if the screen sharing can come up. I'm surprised why it's not being shared. I've attempted this like 3 times now. So one more time, let me see if there's something we can do about it. Great. Okay, so we're talking about changing the access right to a particular file. And so in order to change the access right to a file, what you need to do is to use the change mode command. So change mode command changes the access right to a particular file. But before you do that, you may also want to first of all query what kind of access is available to a particular file. So if the file is airline.txt, the kind of access to this file airline.txt is with the command ls. So assuming you don't know, assuming you just don't know, so I'm clearing my screen and you query what's in this folder. What you have in this folder is airline.txt. So if you want to know what kind of access is available to this airline.txt, it's ls minus al. So this would display the file in this folder and all the type of access rights to the users that can access this particular file. So what this is saying is that the owner of this file can read, write, but cannot execute. Other users in the same group can read, but cannot write or execute the content of this file. And also other users generally, they can only read, they cannot write to this file or execute the content of this particular file. So what to do in order to change the mode is change mode. And what we want to change it to, we want the owner of this file to be able to execute this file. So it's going to be change mode. So the execute command or the number for execution, it's the code for execution is 7. I'm sorry. The code for read, write, and execute is 7. So it's going to be 7 for the owner of the file. For other users of the file, we just want to maintain the what it is currently. And what it is currently is just read only. Read only is 4 for other users in the same group with the owner of the file, and 4 for other users that are not the same in the same category with this file, with the same user for this file. And then the file name is airline. You enter. Sorry. Change mode capital R. Change mode capital R 777. Then you enter. So that changes the access right. So
Hi, Blessing. Sorry to stop you. I'm not seeing your screen. You said?
Is there anyone that can
Same thing. Yeah, I can't see your screen.
You cannot
It's
see my
just
screen.
yeah, it's just
can't
black.
see your screen.
It's so it's strange because I can see the screen. I'm sharing on 2 devices and the other device can see the screen. I'm surprised why you cannot see the screen.
Okay,
I'm
maybe let
sharing
me
on
log out and then I log in again.
exactly. Maybe you should try that. Maybe you should try that. Log out and then log in again. Mary, can you see my screen? Hello, Mary. Hello, Mary. Can you see my screen now?
No, it's just black.
Yeah, it's strange. This is strange. I could see my screen too before now, but when you logged out and logged in again, it became black.
Yeah.
What other tools can we quickly use? Which other tool can we quickly do this? Yeah, this is strange. Maybe I should restart my own computer. So please stay on the line. I'll restart my PC.
All right.
Okay, so let me attempt that again. I'm sharing my desktop. Please confirm if you can see my desktop. Can you see my desktop?
Not yet.
Uh-oh. Wow. I hope this. Are you on the road?
No, I'm in the house.
Wow. Okay, there was a feedback before now. So you still cannot see my screen?
Yeah, it's still black.
It's strange. This is totally strange. This is totally strange. I don't know what's going on, and it's strange. But on my mobile phone, I can see my screen on my mobile phone. It will be difficult to follow without the screen sharing.
Yeah.
Which other way can I do this? Which other way can we do this? But it's totally strange. Um, Hello, Mary, can you see my screen? Hello, Mary, are you there?
I could be there, I still can't see it.
Is the screen showing now?
Yes. Yes, it's showing, but there's something that just came up
Great.
again on top. Okay, yeah, it's fine now. It's perfect.
It's okay.
Okay, fine. Okay, thanks a lot. Yeah, so we cracked it. Honestly, I don't know what I did. I just shut down and started it again. Okay, so we are looking at. I'm already, I'm already disconnected because of all this troubleshooting I was doing. Okay, so before now, I think we're reviewing some of those Linux commands. So today we are going to be reviewing the Linux command, and at the same time we are going to be practicing HDFS command. So these are things that we have done before. So I'm going to just quickly run through some of those things that I've talked about earlier before we had that breaking transmission. So we practice a few things. We practice checking the current working directory. We practiced how to search for a file. So if you are working within a Hadoop environment or a local Linux environment, how do you search for a file within your directory? How do you print the content of a directory? Those are some of the things that we did. And the next that we're practicing was to check was to change the access rights or the access privileges that is assigned to a user on a file. And I said that there are three types of access privileges that can be granted to a user. Number one is the read access, the other one is the write access, the third one is the execute access. And there are three categories of users that these accesses can be granted to. Number one is the owner of the file itself, the creator of the file. Number two is it's another user or other users that are within the same group with the owner of the file. And the third category are other users that are not in the same category with the owner of the file. So there are different access privileges that can be granted. If you grant access number 7 to any of those three groups, that is a read, write, and execute privilege that you are granting. If you grant access number 6, to any of those groups, you are only granting read and write privilege to those users. If you grant access number 5, access level number 5, that is read and execute. If you grant access level number 4, that is read only. If you grant access number 3, that is write and execute. If you grant access level number 2, that is write only. If you grant access level number 1, that is execute only. If you grant access level number 0, that is no access to a particular user or user group. So what we're doing before now is we're checking the access that is granted to a file that is called airline.txt. So I'll quickly clear my screen. So in this directory, the file that exists in this directory is airline.txt, and we want to check the access level to this file. And the access level to the file is the access level to user in this file is this is it. It's rwx for the owner of the file, r -- for other users in the same group, and r -- for other users that are not in the same group. So if we want to alter this and grant read write to other users in the same group and revoke all the access that is granted to anybody that does not belong in the same group. So what that will mean is that read write access to the owner of the file, that is 7, read write to other users in the same group, that is 6, and revoke all access to anybody that does not belong to the same group with the owner of this file, that is in order to be able to execute that, the command is change mode. The command to change mode is a command to change. I want to check here so I can hear you if you talk. My microphone is not muted. Yeah. So change mode is a command to change this, right? And -r is the parameter that you specify in front of it. So we are granting 7 to the owner of the file. We are granting 6 to other users within the same group. 6 means read and write, and we are revoking all access to anybody that does not belong to the same group. And the file name is airline.txt. So mind you, check this. rwx was it here, then r -- then r --. So after executing this command, let's see what it turns to. So when you click enter, yeah, have I done? Yeah, when you click enter, the privileges are reset. So when you run this command again, now you can see that it has changed from rws, it still maintains rws, where you have r -- is now rw -- and where you have r -- is now --. So what this means is that when you create a file within your Hadoop environment, you can specify who can access it, because more or less when you're working in a data environment, there are going to be multiple users who can access the file. We currently work on a project. For all the projects that we work on, what we tell our users is that just grant us the read access only. So that is access number 4 on their own data sources. So if a bank grants us access to Finacle, for instance, the only access that we need on Finacle is just going to be read-only access. So read-only access will allow us to be able to connect to Finacle and pull the data from Finacle to our own servers. Once we pull the data from Finacle to our own servers, then there on our own server, we have read, write, execute access on the data that we have copied from Finacle. That is the core banking system. We have read, write access. Once we copy it, then we can do all kinds of manipulation there. So what it means is that we are manipulating a copy of our customer's data, but we are not manipulating the original data given to us by a customer, but it's a replica of that data is what we manipulate so that their own data can always be intact. So that is the logic. And we always insist for all of our projects, don't give us write access, don't give us execute access. And we are trying to play safe by asking them not to give or read and execute access, so that if anything goes wrong, when they go and audit, they can say that the level of access granted to these people will not allow them to modify what is on their system. When they audit us, they will know that they have not given us the kind of access that require us to modify what's on their system. So we always insist, connect us to your data, but grant us only read access to that data. So that is the wisdom there. So that is what happens behind the scene. Then you may also want to copy the content of a particular directory to another directory. So say I want to create a folder. So let's first of all do creating a directory. So if I want to create a directory, the command is make dir mkdir make directory, and the command is make directory, and say the directory name is December. So I'm creating a folder like December. So I'm making a directory. The directory is December. So if you list ls-al, now you can see a line. You can see a folder I just created. This folder is December. It's colored in blue. So this is December. So now I want to do a copy. I want to copy a line. So let's go into December and see what's inside December. CD December. You see ls. There's nothing inside December. ls minus al. There's nothing in December. I'm clearing my screen. So there's nothing in December. CD dot dot. So now I want to copy the content of. I want to copy a line. I want to copy a line into this folder that is called December. So the command is cp. So actually in your Windows, when you copy file from your disk to your document or to your desktop, what you are simply doing is this command. You're executing this command. But what Mr. Microsoft, what he did in his own time is that he knows that a lot of users will probably not have time to be able to be running and learning how to do this command. He now created Windows. He now created graphical user interface around all of these commands. So you can just right-click on your mouse and copy and paste without necessarily writing any command. But what is happening behind the scene when you right-click and click copy and put in the location and paste, what you're actually doing is cp command. So cp, I'm copying airline.txt and I'm copying it to December. So when you do this, it copies without cutting. So this is just a copy. So it's creating another version. So ls minus al. So you have airline, you have December. So if I go inside December now, if I go into December, if I do ls minus al, now you can see December. You can see airline in December. There's also airline in airport folder. So simply that is how that works. It's very simple. Please practice it. You can try this. You can try this at home. You may be interested in searching for a file again. So we have talked about how to find a file. If you are looking for a file, so if I go to this is root directory. I'm clearing my screen. This is root directory. I do ls minus al in my root directory. Here, there is no, you can see. So I want to search within this root directory, or let me move to /home/hd user ls minus al. So in this directory, here's a directory. So I want to search for any file. I want to search for any file that has that starts with a. If I want to find any file that starts with I want to search for any file that starts with a. So the command is this. The command is this. Then minus dot minus name then a star. So this is going to search for anything that has a, that starts with a. This is what it's going to search for. So if I click enter, what was it able to find? On my desktop, it's able to find airport. on the desktop and in a folder that is called airport, is able to find airline. And on the desktop, in a folder that is called airport, and now the folder that is called December, is able to find airline. So these are the three elements that it's able to find. It was not granted access to search this location. Access was not granted to search this location. Access was not granted to search. Okay, it also found another file that has air pollution.rda, but access was not granted to search this location. So access was not granted to 3 locations. It does not have permission to access 3 locations, and it's just because of the the mode that we just discussed now. So this user does not have access to access all of this location, but it's also able to find files, 4 files, or maybe 3 files and 1 folder that starts with A. That is one way of searching for files. That is one way of searching for files. So secondly, you may also want to search for file in a different way. There's another way of searching for file. The command is grep. You may want to search for grep, and then that grep, you are looking for you are searching your computer for anything that starts with maybe airport, anything that has airport in it, or let's say you are searching for the content. Now we are searching for a file, but this time around we want to search for the content of a file. So let's say we're looking for the content of any file that has ARIC in it. Remember, we created a file that has ARIC airline inside it. So we want to search for any file that has anything like airline in it or ARIC inside of it. So grep is the command, and then you do ARIC, and the type of file that you are searching for is a test file. You may want to specify the type of file that you want to search. So you are searching for any test file that has ARIC in it. This is not correct. This is not ARIC. Any test file. So this is any test file. Search any test file that has ARIC in it. Enter. You couldn't find such file, or you couldn't find such file or directory. Let's see if we can modify this in a different way. You couldn't find any such file that has it in it. Let me see if I can find another example that has this. Grep aric.txt star.txt. You couldn't find such file. Yeah, so let's do cd desktop, cd airport, exactly. So I run this command again. Okay, so how do I explain this? How do I explain this to you? So what it does is that location. So I'm searching for any file that contains ARIC in it in a particular location. I'm searching for a test file that has ARIC in it in a particular location. So when I did this in my home directory, it did not return any result. Let me do it in desktop. Let me do it on desktop and see. On desktop, if I do this on desktop, it also did not return any result because there's no file or any directory that is a test file. There's a test file in this particular directory. So in this directory, there's no such file, or there's any directory that ends with dot or star txt. There's no txt file in this particular desktop directory, in this directory. But when I move to airport folder. When I move to airport folder, if you look at airport folder, there is airline.txt. So there's a TST file. There's a TST file in airline. So now I can now run that command and check. Is there anything that has ARIC inside of it? When I did enter, it came out as there is a file, and the only TSC file that's here has ARIC in it. That's simply what this is. I will duplicate that file. I will duplicate this file and do another example just to be able to explain it in a different way. So I want to copy airline.txt. I want to copy it into so I'll call it DASCA.txt. So what it means is that I'm creating DASCA.txt. And I'm copying the content of airline.txt. Please, can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Great. Okay, so I'm copying the content of airline.txt. I'm copying it into DASCA.txt. So I'm just like duplicating this file. So if you do ls-al, now you find DASCA.txt. Let me create another one again. I'll create another one again. Maybe I'll call it Christmas.txt. So I do this. So I have three files. Here. I have airline.txt, I have christmas.txt, I have DASCA.txt. Now I want to run that grep command again. The grep command. So now what grep command is looking for is in this folder, in this working directory, is there any test file? Is there any test file that has ARIC in it? One more before I do that. One more before I do this. Where's my copy command? So here's my copy command. I want to create another one. So maybe I'll call it mm2.csv. So I'm creating a CSV file. So I'm creating another, I'm replicating this file, but this time around it's not a TSV file, it's a CSV file. So I create this. So if you do ls-al, so you have four files: airline, christmas.txt, dasca.txt, and mm2.csv that all of them. So let's check the content of mm2.txt. Cat mm2. If you check the contents, you can see ARIC, you can see Bellevue, Octagon, First Nation, Chachangi, Sosoliso. We created this on some week past in the past. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4 files that have the same content in them. Now we want to search for any file that has ARIC in it. We want to search for any file that has ARIC in it. So if you are searching for any file that has ARIC in it, the command is grep. So I'm searching for any. So in this location airport, I'm searching for any test file. I'm searching for any test file that has ARIC in it. Now test file, not a CSV file. So I click enter. So see the result it brought out. In airline.txt, there is ARIC in it. In christmas.txt, there is ARIC in it. In DASCA.txt, there's ARIC in it. MM2 was not reported. For what reason? Who can tell me why MM2 was not reported? Please, I'm waiting for who can tell me why mm2.csv was not reported. So yeah, so it's simple now. It's simple. MM2, yes, even though it has ARIC in it, it's not a TST file. It's not a TST file. It's a .tsv file. So because it's a .txt file, am I alone in the class? I want to be sure. Please let me know. Mary, are you in the class? Titi, are you in the class?
Not
Yeah,
alone.
Eric is in the class. Titi, are you in the class? Yes, Titi is in the class.
Yes.
So why is it that it only reported, this command only reported airline and Christmas and DASCA? It did not report MM2.
You said MM2 was a CSV file. Maybe that's why.
Correct. I want to hear now. When you don't talk, it's like I'm alone in the class. When you don't talk,
Hello?
it's like, yeah, when you don't talk back to me, when you don't respond to me, it's like I'm alone in the class.
Oh, okay. I actually wasn't on seat. I just came back. I'm trying to sort out some things.
So I'm going to insist that people should turn on their camera.
I know.
I will insist that people should turn on their camera so that I can see who is in the class and who is not in the class.
You will see different funny faces.
Okay, so I think you got it, even though you were not there, but I think you got it. So I won't waste time on that. I think that is quite very, very, very simple. So I want to switch to practicing HDFS command. So let's look at HDFS command. We have done this in the past, but let's quickly do it again. And I think we can get it done in the next 43 minutes. So we are going to be looking at how do you start. So yesterday, we spent a lot of time yesterday, again, talking about the Hadoop architecture. So yesterday, we talked about the components of Hadoop, the different distribution of Hadoop, from Hortonworks to Apache flavor, to Intel flavor, to AWS flavor of Apache distribution. Then we also took time to talk about the different components of the Apache Hadoop framework, which includes the HDFS and Yarn and MapReduce. And then we also talked about a columnar database like HBase. We also talk about a relational database like Hive. We talk about Scoop, which is a data migration tool for moving data to and fro HDFS. We also talk about Pig, which is a scripting language, which is a scripting language. We also talk about OZ. OZ is a workflow component within the Hadoop framework. So when you want to automate your processes, you can configure this automation within OZ. We also talk about Zookeeper, which is responsible for process synchronization and so on and so forth. You guys know all of those. You know all of those stuff. They are definitely going to come out in your exams. So let's just practice some Hadoop command. So we've done this before. So I'm also going to be very, very fast the way I was fast with the Linux command. So in order to be able to start your Hadoop command, the startup command, the start DFS dfs dfs.sh. This is the command to start your Hadoop. So when you want to start Hadoop, this is the command to start the Hadoop. And I said the last time that whenever it gives you some kind of error, you might need to go and set your environment variable. So when it says that it's unable to load the native Hadoop library for your platform, so it's using built-in Java class where applicable. Now it's starting the name node. The name node is like that directory that is responsible for. Name node is that directory that is responsible for recording information on where your data is stored on the data node and on the disk. that is name node. There is always one name node and a replica of that name node. If the name node is down, then it means that there's nothing that will simply work. So it's starting the name node, and this is the primary name node on the local host. Then it's also starting a data node. It's starting a data node on the local host. It's starting a secondary name node also on the local host, and it's also starting a secondary name node on the local host. Simply, that is simply how it starts. But I want to fix this error message, so I'm going to shut it down. So in order to be able to shut it down, you can do stop. You can do stop. You can stop this. You can stop dfs.sh. You can stop it. When you stop it, then it stops. But I want to fix this error of saying unable to load native Java library class. So it's simply giving that warning because it couldn't find the environment variable, or there is no pointer to the environment variable. So I want to fix that. And to fix that, the one way to fix that is by running the following commands. So this command will simply help you to fix that, because you also don't want to be getting this error. If you don't fix it, what it means is that at some point there are some commands that you run, it will tell you that command is not available. You cannot find that command in its Hadoop library. So in order to fix that command, you do opt Hadoop operations it's equal to. So this is simply telling this local machine that anytime you want to run Hadoop commands, this is the location where you find Hadoop library. This is the location where you find the Hadoop library. d.java library dot path. So you are setting the class path is equal to /user /local /Hadoop /library and /native. So once you do this, if you go back and rerun that command to start DFS, you don't get the error message. You don't get the error message. Okay, so you can see it's simply starting the name node, and it's starting the name node, and it's logging. It's keeping the log. It's keeping the log in this particular file. It's keeping the log in this particular file. Why it's also very important to keep the log is that in case you need to troubleshoot, you can go to the log and read the content of the log in order to be able to troubleshoot. So this is coming up now without this error, without this warning message of unable to load native library. So really that is very, very important. It's very important. I usually give an example of a project that we did with Intel, where we had to set up that environment on a Linux server, and there were two reasons why we did that. One, I wanted my team to master Oracle on Linux. That was one reason I did that. The second reason why I also did that was we wanted something that the client would not have the expertise to manage. So it was very important that the client does not have the expertise to manage. That was why we intentionally did that, so that we could keep ourselves for a very long time in that environment. So we try to run on Linux environment. We know that it will be difficult for them to find an expert that can do that. So in Windows, you probably just go to a button and right click and say start, and it gets started like that. But with Linux, you need to run command to start. You need to run command to stop, and to stop it properly. So JPS will help you to know all the services that are running. So there's a name node that is running on 4988. There's a data node that is running on 5118. There's a secondary name node that is running on 5301. If you want to start Apache Yarn, it is start yarn.sh. startyan.sh. And when you do this, this is starting. It's also starting the yarn application. It's simply started. When you do your JPS, you see all the different services that are JPS. Yeah, you see that yarn is also running. So you see, when you do JPS, you have your resource manager and application manager. So yarn has two key components, has resource manager and application manager. You can see the resource manager is running on 5489, and you have the node manager, which is an application manager, is running on 5612. You can also decide to start this in a read-only. You may also choose to start this in a read-only mode. When you started in read-only mode, there are no replications and there is no modification that is done at that particular point in time. So let's look at some of the file system commands. Some of the Hadoop file system commands. Now we have started Hadoop. So for some of the file system commands, in order to run those commands, how to do that is very simple. Page 19 of your textbook can guide you on that, but I'll simply also help you to demonstrate some of this. So to run Hadoop command from a Linux environment, the command is hdfs dfs minus ls. So I'll explain this. This is a HDFS command, and this is a Hadoop file system. This is HDFS command. So for a Hadoop file system, if you want to list the content of the root partition, that is the meaning of this. So this is a directory. This /s is a directory. This command is to list the content of this directory. But this command is showing that, so this is for Hadoop, it's not for the local computer. That's what it's simply saying. So here is it. When you run this, you simply get the result. You simply get the result once you run this. The result comes up. So here is it. So in this directory, in the home directory, you can see HBase, you can see home. In the root directory, you can see /hbase, you can see /home, you can see /tmp, you can see /user. So there are four of us in this class. So in the user directory, I'll go and create 4 different user folder in the user directory. I'm going to go and create 4 different folders in the user directory. So to create those 4 folders in the user directory, the command is, again, hdfs dfs is always what you start with. Then the command you want to make directory, make dir mk, make dir. You want to make directory, and the directory you want to make is /user/blessing. So therefore, of course, I'll make this is the first user. Then the second user is Mary. The third user is TT. And the last user is Eric. So in no particular order, we have created like 4 different user folders. So if you want to like list the content of that user folder on that Hadoop environment, when you do this, so hdfs dfs list the content of /user directory, it's simply going to bring out the 4 different folders we've created, including other folders that might have been there. So there is user/hive, there's user/tt, there's user/mary, there's user/eric, and there's user/blessing. So that is simply how to create folders. And you can also create folders recursively. You know, you can create folders recursively. So say for instance, say for instance, you want to create you want to create in blessing folder, you want to create December. And in December, you want to create week 1. And in week 1, you want to create Monday in week 1. You know, so in user/blessing, you want to create a month that is called December. In that folder of called December, you want to create week 1, and in that week 1, you want to create Sunday as a folder in that week 1. So it's a recursive. It's called recursive creation of directory. So in order for you to do that, it's simple as /user/blessing, then blessing, then you have December, then you have week 1, then you have Monday, yeah. So it simply creates all of these folders recursively because of this parameter. This parameter is only what makes the difference. /p is what simply makes a difference in that. So that is simply how that works. Copy a file. So now, how do we move? Let's see how to move files around. So for all these folders and files that we have created, also remember from this desktop, we created ls-al. There is mm2.csv. There is this file that's called mm2.csv. So I want to copy this mm2.csv and I want to go and dump it in. I want to dump it in this folder, user/Eric. I want to copy this file. So this file is on my computer, on my local computer. I want to copy it from local computer and I want to go and paste it in this Hadoop environment that we have just created. You know, ordinarily, when I copied to December folder, if you remember when I copied to December, assuming I want to copy this mm2 now from this location, I want to copy it into this December folder. Then the same directory, they are also on the same machine. It's on the local computer. That is very simple. You do cp, you do mm2, then you put December. So once you do this, it's copied. So if you do cd December ls-al, you can find airline.txt there. You can find mm2.csv there. It's as simple as that. But what we want to do is different from that. That is not what we want to do. What we want to do is that we want to copy mm2 into Eric folder that we just created. But Eric folder is on Hadoop. Hadoop is a logical partition. So in order to be able to do that, how to go about it is very simple. Yeah, how to do that is very simple. So the command is hdfs dfs. Yeah, hdfs dfs is the command. Then the read command you're looking for is copy from local. I'm copying from local, and what am I copying from local? I'm copying mm2.csv. I'm copying mm2.csv and I'm dumping it in. I'm copying mm2.csv and I'm dumping it in. Just a minute. I'm copying mm2.csv and I want to dump it in Eric. In the Eric is user/Eric folder that we created on the Hadoop, and that is /user/Eric. Enter. So once you do this, the file goes to the mm2.csv goes into the Eric folder that we created. But how can you be sure that it's there? For you to be sure that it's there, remember this command. List/user. So let's list /user/Eric. When you list this, it simply displays what is in Eric folder. Yeah, so that is it. What is in Eric folder is mm2.csv, and this is the access right. This is the access right for mm2.eric in mm2.csv on Eric folder, but this is on Hadoop. This is on the Hadoop on HDFS. This is simply on HDFS. And so if you want to also display the content, you may also want to display the content of this mm2.csv. To display the content of mm2.csv is as simple as cat. Cat is a command /mm2.csv. So this will display the content of mm2.csv. So you can see this is the content of mm2.csv. So the same way, if you want, so this is to copy. In case you want to move is you are cutting from the original location and you are pasting. You are cutting from the original location and you are pasting into the final destination, if that is what you want to do. So instead of doing copy from local, you're just going to do move from local. You just do move from local, and it's going to cut the file away from the original, from the source, and paste it in the destination. You may also want to copy to local. So assuming that so I'll create, so yeah, let me see. I want to create a new folder on my local computer. The new folder I want to create is, I want to call it something that's completely different. Ministry of Aviation. So I want to make directory, and this directory is Ministry of Aviation. So I make it directory Ministry of Aviation. And for this Ministry of Aviation, I want to, so if you do CD Ministry of Aviation, if you check, there's nothing inside it. ls-al is completely blank. There's nothing inside it. Now I want to copy file from Hadoop, from Eric folder. I want to copy file from Eric folder, and I want to paste it into this particular directory. And what is in Eric folder is mm2.csv. I want to paste it into this particular directory. So the command is going to be hdfs dfs copy to local, copy to local. That is a command. And then copy to local. Where is the location I want to copy to? I want to copy to this location. This location is dot. My current location is dot. So I'm using dot to represent my current location. And I'm copying it from /user. I'm copying /user/Eric. I'm copying /user/Eric/mm2. mm2.csv. So I'm copying this. So let's see. It's saying that no such file or user exists, so that it's a beans I have cooked somewhere. So I'll check it. I'll check copy to local. checking where that's coming from. So let me check where the error could be coming from. So I'm copy to local, so I'll quickly check. Copy to local, then I want to copy to yes. Okay, so let me be explicit. I'll be explicit. Here DFS copy to local slash HD slash home slash HD user slash home slash HD user, then slash desktop slash airport slash Ministry of Aviation. Yes, slash Ministry of Aviation. And the file I want to copy is yes. So the file I want to copy it's user slash Eric slash word count. So yeah, so that's an error. I don't know where the error is coming from. Let me check if did I copy. Let me see if I copied this. Yeah.
Sorry, Mr. Blessing.
Yes.
So I just want to suggest, I don't know, is it because the C of the copy is in lowercase? I can see that the T is uppercase, the L is uppercase, but the C is lowercase.
So so the command is actually correct. For
okay.
the first C, it's the first letter is always small letter, while the other words in that same command they start with capital letters. So it's not complaining about the command, it's complaining about the file. It's complaining about the file. So it's complaining about the file. Yeah. So let me see. So cd dot. Yeah, so let me quickly check this. So here DFS, copy to local, and where am I copying to? I'm copying it to, so let me see. Let me see before I start cooking this. So assuming, yeah, yes, so this, and then, oh yes, okay, so, okay. So let me see this. So this should work. Okay. So what it has simply done, it has copied this MM2 to the desktop. It has copied MM2 to the desktop. But that's not what I intend to do. So if I do ls minus AL, there'll be MM2. There'll be MM2 on the desktop minus AL. There'll be MM2 on the desktop, but that's not what I intend to do. I intend to copy MM2 to this location, Ministry of Aviation. So ls minus AL. So I intend to copy MM2 into this folder that is called Ministry of Aviation. So the command is this, actually. So the command is, this is the HDFS command, copy to local, but it copies it to the present working directory. It copies it to present working directory, where you are working from. So you don't need to specify the location where you are copying to. It will just copy it to the location where you are working from. That is simply how it works. So it copies it to the present working directory. And now my present working directory is desktop/airport/Ministry of Aviation. So when I run this command now, it will run. And if I do ls-al, ls-al, you see MM2 is now in Ministry of Aviation. I hope you got the error message and you understand how we corrected it. Hello, did you get what I did?
Yes, I did.
Okay, correct. But what?
Yeah, I did. I got it.
Okay. Okay, so let's go on. I'm sure Eric too got it. Eric is following quietly. Okay, so simply that is how it works. So when you copy to local, it copies to your present working directory. You may also want to remove directory. So if you have created a directory, you want to remove that directory. So say we want to remove Eric. Let's see what we have in that partition again. So to check what you have in that partition, hit DFS, then the command is -ls/user. Let's see what we have there. So this is what we have there. We have Blessing, we have Eric, we have Mary, we have TT, and we have Hive. So we want to remove Blessing and want to remove Eric from this directory. So to remove Blessing and to remove Eric from this directory is simply this. The command is remove dir and remove rmdir. And what do you want to remove? We want to remove /user/blessing. So we want to remove this. The directory is not empty. So because the directory is not empty, we cannot remove what is in there. So what's in there that is making the directory not empty? So I'll quickly check what is inside there. Oh yes, okay, yes. I know why. So user directory is not empty. There is something inside it. So I need to specify one additional command to remove it recursively. To remove it recursively, that is one more command I need to specify to remove it recursively. So in order to be able to do that is this remove directory. I need to specify remove -r. Sorry. ls/user/blessing. Okay, sorry. So there is December inside. So why it threw this error? I wanted to delete blessing, but I refused that I should delete blessing because in blessing there is a folder inside blessing. So because of that, I cannot just remove blessing like that. And if you also check inside December, there's another folder inside December. There is week 1 in December, there is Monday in December. So because there are because there's a content in a folder, whenever there's a content in a folder, it does not allow you to delete it. So you need to specify another command in order to do a recursive delete. Let's see what is also beyond December. There is week 1, then there is Monday. There is Monday. So there's Monday. Yeah, so yes, so this is actually the latest part. So beyond Monday, there's nothing in Monday, there's nothing inside Monday. So if I want to remove this now, I'll just come and say, if I want to remove the Monday folder, I can say remove dir, and I click enter. It will simply remove Monday. So it's gone. If I do this, it will remove week 1. It will remove week 1. So if I attempt to remove, say blessing again, it will still throw error. It will tell me that it's not empty. It's not empty. To tell me it's not empty. So the directory is not empty. So a quick way to overcoming that, if I want to overcome that without necessarily having to specify all the subdirectories, a quick way to overcome that is by specifying remove, then remove it recursively. Remove this directory and remove it recursively. So with this, it will remove blessing, and at the same time, it will remove December that is inside blessing. So it will go to the innermost part, remove what is in the innermost part, and then remove it from inside out. So, so here it's a report. It's trashed. The name node trash configuration, deletion interval. It happened within 0 minutes, and it deleted /user/blessing. So when you go and you run your command, your ls command for user, you will not find blessing. You will not find blessing anymore in that directory. Yeah, so now you only have Eric, and you have Mary, you have TT. So if you want to remove Eric, if you try to do this for Eric, yes, if you try to say remove directory Eric, it will come with an error because /Eric is still not empty. You know, /Eric is not empty. There's a content in /Eric. So it's saying the directory is not empty. So the command to run will be this /Eric. So this will remove Eric recursively. Yes, so simply that it's how to manage file system commands on HDFS. So far, since we started, what have we been able to achieve since we started? So since we started, we introduced the class to big data, where we talked about the different types of big data. The elements of big data in terms of the volume, the value, and the varieties of big data. We talk about the different applications of big data in many different contexts. There was a report from the World Economic Forum. That was in the first week of December this year, 2020. Again, they listed the careers of the future. The top, the big data, machine learning, data science, occupied the first three or the first five top careers of the future. If that is working, if that is coming from the data from the World Economic Forum, it means that you should pay attention, you should pay more attention to what you are doing, because the future of data science, it's still in the horizon. It's not bleak. It's just about to rise. So World Economic Forum, you need to check that report from World Economic Forum report on the jobs of the future 2020. Then we also talked about the different applications of big data in fraud detection in bank, in insurance business, in retail business. Then we went ahead to talk about the different technologies for handling big data, where we spent a lot of time talking about distributed computing and parallel computing. That actually laid the foundation for Hadoop that we are talking about today, because Hadoop, the Hadoop architecture is actually meant to leverage a distributed computing environment. We talked about virtualization and the importance of virtualization. We introduced Hadoop to us. We also talked about the features of cloud computing and the importance and the usefulness of cloud computing. We also spent time to talk about in-memory computing, where we said in-memory computing, just because we want to minimize the time we spend in executing processes and the back and forth between processor and the memory. There's a new design where you have the memory designed on top of the processor itself, and that concept is called in-memory computing. Then we spent time to talk about the Hadoop ecosystem, the different components of Hadoop ecosystem, where we talk about HDFS, MapReduce, and Apache Yarn. And we also went further to talk about the other components which are not the core component of Hadoop ecosystem, which include things like Hive, Database is columnar database. Hive is like a relational database. You have Scoop. Scoop is for data migration. You have Zookeeper, which is mainly for process synchronization and housekeeping job within the Apache framework. You have OZ, which is a workflow component for that architecture. We talked about how MapReduce works. MapReduce uses the concept of divide and conquer. So you have a job, it breaks it down, or you have a big data, it breaks it down into smaller components, assign it to different servers or within the cluster to execute on. And once they finish executing on it, it combines the results back again and returns it back to the user. We talked about some of the limitations of MapReduce. And then we also practiced Linux command, and we also practiced HDFS command. So, ladies and gentlemen, it's on this note that we are going to press the pause button for this year. By the time we resume back in 2021, God willing, we will move to the we'll move to the analytics part of this course, because the course is actually in two parts. It's big data analytics. So we spent time, we started with big data, now we'll move to the analytics part. And there, I want you to prepare yourself for some programming. So there will be R programming. We are going to be doing programming in our language, and we are going to be doing some visualization in Tableau. So I'd like you to prepare for that. I think we are going to be resuming back in the first week of December. If that is going to change, we are going to communicate to you, but we are resuming back in the first week of December. In the first weekend in December is when the class is going to be resuming. Thank you very much. Please feel free to ask me your question.
Okay, hi, Blessing. I guess it's the first week in January, right?
Yes.
Okay, you said December.
Sorry. First week in January. If that is going to change, we are definitely going to communicate to you. But we plan to resume back in the first week in December. In January, sorry, January, January, not December.
Hello, sir.
All right,
Hi.
thank you.
You're welcome.
Eric. Please,
Eric,
I
let's go.
yes. I would like to know. I'm not registered for this class yet. I'm just updating. When will be the next? When will be the next registration be?
So registration for this class is still open for those that have been attending the classes. The next cohort, it could also be in January. My classes have ended. Each time my class ends, that is when a new class starts. So it's going to be in January, maybe the third week in January. So Emmanuel is going to continue this class. Once he is back to the office, he's going to continue with this class. Then we also have some other people that are also lined up that be taking different aspects of the class. But a new cohort, which is cohort 5, this is cohort 4. The cohort 5 is going to be starting maybe 22nd of January or 29th of January. That is a plan that they presented to me. I'm not sure. I've not approved it, but the training department presented the plan to me, and that is what I could see on the plan: 22nd of January or 29th of January.
All right. Thank you very much.
So I want to thank you very much for being part of our success story this year. I wish you a very good holiday, and please stay safe. COVID-19 is very real. The numbers, we are tracking the numbers, and the numbers are becoming alarming. So please, I beg you, pay attention to social distancing and use your face masks. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye. Bye.
Bye.